Yo, what's up? It's Havoc here. I was making this video to go over the Ultimatum patch notes for Path of Exile for 3.14, and I was just going to get right into it. So it doesn't look like there's a whole lot here. This isn't the patch notes, but they added 4 active skill gems, 4 support skill gems, a bunch of divination cards, 1 chaos orb currency, 3 catalyst, 1 oil, 3 new incubators, 2 different scarabs with 1 sacred blossom, and some new item based classes. Interesting. And then here's all the map tiers down here, and then that is the end. My name is Jeff. All right, so here's the patch notes. So the Ultimatum Challenge League, blah 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 blah. That's just the patch league note. Added a new gem, Reap. A bloody scythe swipes across a selected area, applying a physical dot. In addition, hitting enemies with physical damage. If enemies survive, you gain a blood charge, which raises both the damage and cost of the skill. Exsanguine. Oh my god. Exsanguinate.
You try and saying that.
Release several tendrils of blood, targeting enemies in a narrow angle in front of you. The beams deal physical damage, inflict a physical damage over time. So these are the bleed skills. Attack up to 3 times. Effect which allows skills can be applied to these tendrils. Chain. Oh my god. That sounds kind of crazy. Petrified blood. You apply a buff that protects the lower half of your life, preventing some of the immediate life loss when damaged by hits and applying the loss over time instead. Your life cannot be raised above low life other than flasks. While above low life, skills will cost life as well as mana. Interesting. Corrupting Fever. Draw your own blood to power a buff for a duration, letting the skill inflict the corrupting blood debuff on enemies you hit, dealing physical damage over time for a short secondary duration. This buff's duration will be refreshed if you spend enough life before it expires. Yeah, these always sound really good on paper, but then when they come out, they always like some of the lastly like Shattering Steel, those still don't seem that good. Bloodthirst. Supports attack skills, causing them to deal additional fizz damage with weapons equal to 2% of your max life while on low life. Deal low life support. Cruelty. Support skills that hit enemies, causing them to deal more damage with hits. You also gain a cruelty buff, which makes all supported skills deal 50% more damage over time, based on the initial damage of the hit. This might be, no, based on the initial, this is not good for Ascendancy at all, I don't think. Blood magic support has been removed. 2 new support gems. Okay, what is this? Arrogance. Supports any skill with a reservation. Skills reserve life instead of mana, have an increased aura effect. Oh, that sounds pog. The reservation multiplier decreases as the gem level increases. Any existing blood magic support gems will be converted to arrogance support gems. Okay. And then life tap. Supports any skill. Skills cost life instead of mana. If you spend a certain amount of life, you will gain a life tap buff, which causes supported skills to deal more damage. Cool. More unique divination cards. Rituals with core game. Ooh, I don't know about that one. I feel like Ultimatum looks like Ritual 2.0. Well, we'll see. This is definitely an interesting ad. Wasn't too thrilled with the Ritual at the end game of last league, but it was cool. Introduce the key, which can be found as a rare drop throughout the game. Extremely rare drop, by the way. When consumed in the map device, it grants you access to an ancient vault with a chest that drops a special foil version of a Vaal themed unique item. Uniques drop this way have equal weighting. Oh wow. This is the rarest reliquary key. This thing's going to be worth a lot of fucking money. Introduce the Veiled Chaos Orb. A currency that reforges rare items in a similar way to regular Chaos Orb, but guarantees the result will have a random veiled modifier. This is going to be like a 1 Chaos Orb item. It's going to be not anything. Added 6 new vendor recipes. 5 new equipment based types available in the Atlas. Cool. Added various new league rewards such as Catalyst, Incubators, and Scarabs. Added 5 new Sextant modifiers. Blight, Delirium, Harvest, Heist, or Ritual. Conquerors encounters can now be accessed through a map item. Whoa. When you have a conquered citadel ready, speak to Zana, open the map. A map containing the conquered citadel already placed in the first slot. Currency can be applied to these maps. Oh, it's because that's interesting. They wanted you to be able to juice up your conquer, like with a free map. Maeve will not only witness encounters in the Uncharted Realms Atlas region for the player that created the encounter. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. That was so annoying last league. People were selling like the Cortex encounter. 1x Cortex. 1x slot for this. 2x for this. Like, come on. No. Awakening bonus objectives no longer provide additional chance to receive an Atlas mission when completing a map. Ooh, that's a nerf. Not really huge, but reduce the chance for map areas that contain Abyss, Ambush, Blight, Breach, Domination, Essence, Heist, Legion, Metamorph, and Torment by 20%. Weren't these only like 10% before? Chance to encounter a Zana mission containing any of these mechanics that have been lowered by the same amount. 20% of 10%, maybe? Reduce the chance of map areas to contain a Delirium mirror by approximately 20%. Chance to encounter a Zana. So these looks like they're for the passive changes, because there were a lot of passive changes that actually added like a chance to give you a Delirium mirror encounter. So that's why they're nerfing this stuff. Zana is now half as likely to offer a unique synthesis map when offering missions. Lame. That's probably needed though, let's be honest. Bottled Faith was like, used to be like 20x, and it was like nothing. Ritual altars can be found once you reach maps. 8% base chance. Cool. 4 new ritual passive nodes. Cool. 3 new ritual watchstone modifiers. Blah blah blah. They nerfed harvest. Minimum of 3 pair plots to be harvested from. No longer appear place of a normal harvest encounter. Sacred Blossom. So that's the Sacred Blossom map fragment they came out with. Sometimes draw from a tier 4 harvest boss. Unlock 5 extra slots. Oh, that's pretty cool. Crafts are no longer guaranteed. Okay, that's interesting. Have a chance to provide a craft. Type specific exalted orbs can now only be applied to non-influence items. So this applies to like end game crafters. This isn't like a huge nerf to people, I don't think. Just end game crafters. I don't really care about like influence gear. I mean, it's cool, but I'm not like trying to get the #1 item in the game. Not for me. We have rebalanced league-specific rewards that were provided far more readily through other content. So they pretty much just dimmed them down. Like Stygian Vices are only through Abyssal Depths. Finally. And Delirium Orbs are now only exclusive to Delirium encounters. Okay, that's cool. You can now find Abyss Scarabs from various sources. Each Scarab guarantees an Abyss counter. Oh, cool. Abyss Scarabs, because the Stygian Vice. Rare Abyss Jewels now use the well-rolled modifier system. Added new Abyss Jewel modifiers. Oh, I don't know if I like that. Blighted maps can now be corrupted with outcomes similar to regular maps. Oh, they couldn't be corrupted before? I didn't know that. Chests have a drop to tainted oils, which can be used to anoint corrupted items. Oh yeah, that's cool. I'm glad they came out with a new oil. That's what the tainted oil is for. Blighted maps now apply the map's item quantity modifier to the Blight chest at 20% of the value. That's a buff to Blight. Whoa, that's a huge buff. Various oil modifiers have been updated. You now find Blight Scarabs from various sources. Each Scarab guarantees a Blight encounter in an area. Higher tier guaranteeing an additional Blight boss. 50% chance for Blight chests to contain an additional reward, or Blight lanes to encounter a additional reward chest. Betrayal. They are now more powerful than before. Through June, when an item was unveiled, the veiled modifier was added will be equal to the highest tier modifier available on the crafting bench. Now the modifier being unveiled no longer counts as a crafted modifier and will be stronger than any craftable veiled modifier. I like that. Pretty much what that means is when items are unveiled, that unveiled item is going to be the strongest as like it could be. So like when you learn the craft, it's going to be a little bit weaker than what that item is because that item was the original craft. So like say you have like 15% global critical strike multiplier. It's going to be a 15% crafted on the item, but say you have the craft in your bench, it's going to be only 10%. Like something like that. Like it's a little bit less. It's just an example. Let's see. You will still obtain progress through unlocking crafting, blah, blah, blah. The weighting of veiled modifiers have been rebalanced. We've improved the betrayal reward system, so slaying the mastermind is more worthwhile. It wasn't worthwhile before. They drop her rewards one tier higher, so if the mastermind is slain, her immortal syndicate members drop the rewards at one tier higher than their current tier. So if there were 3, there will be a tier 4. This change introduces a 4th tier of reward for each member. Whoa, okay, that's kind of big. That's big. And gives more reason to use a larger variety of syndicate targets than safe house leaders. Safe house leaders no longer lose ranks when they're interrogated for mastermind intelligence. Oh shit. Betrayal targets are now more likely to drop failed items and whatever. Polished and gilded scarabs are obtained as a rare drop when bargaining during a betrayal encounter. Scarabs are no longer obtained from areas under level 68. And craftable veil modifiers are rebalanced. Cool. Alright, let's start here. Added 10 new beast crafting recipe. Splitting an item through the beast crafting applies a split modifier to both items, preventing further splitting. Party members that are not the map creator are now required to be 250 unit radius of a captured beast in order for it to be added to the menagerie. Cool. So that is probably for like multi-boxers, right? Blessings of Esh, Tol, Zoth, Ulnatol, and Shaila can be used as an upgrade on a Breachstone to a higher tier version. Wait, did I read that right? Wait. Blessings of Esh, Tol, Zoth, Ulnatol, and Shaila can be used to upgrade an associated Breachstone to a higher tier version. What the fuck? That's really fucking big, actually. Remember these 1C blessings? 1C, 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 maybe like 6C, 4, 5C. This is like 1X at least start, but like at the very end, it's like, 5C. These are going to be able to upgrade Breachstone. People are going to be leveling mad quick. There's going to be so many hundreds, like, the first month. Added a rebalance of various cluster jewel notables. Quantity and rarity applied to monsters from Delirium have been lowered as more consistent across monster rarities. Previously, monster of normal rarities had a disproportionately larger amount of quantity and rarity being applied to them compared to monster of higher rarities. Delve has been rebalanced in a way that makes better rewards appear earlier and more frequent at shallow depths. Very deep delves no longer provide such an exponential increase at the rate of encountering high rewards. Wow, this is a nerf to like high-end delvers. Fractured fossils now applied a split modifier to both items, preventing further duplication. Oh, they're trying to stop this duplication shit. As a result, they can no longer be applied to items that are split, such as synthesized, enchanted, fractured, or influenced items. That's a nerf. Various essences have been rebalanced. Please read the essence at the top, and we will actually read this at the very end. The amount of experience required to level up a heist rogue has been reduced by 20%. Cool, so maybe people will do heist now. Incursion. Alva can now convert your completed and ready to turn in Temple of Atazul to a tradable object that can be consumed in the map device. Oh, that's so cool. So if you're just like Alva's ready and you keep trying to farm, you can just stack them up. You can have like 10 of them ready to go. And you can just stack them up. You can have like 10 of them ready to go. And you can just stack them up. You can have like 10 of them ready to go. And you can just stack them up. You can have like 10 of them ready to go. And you can just stack them up. You can have like 10 of them ready to go. And you can just stack them up. You can have like 10 of them ready to go. And you can just stack them up. You can have like 10 of them ready to go. And you can just stack them up. You can have like 10 of them ready to go. And you can just stack them up. You can have like 10 of them ready to go. And you can just stack them up. You can have like 10 of them ready to go. And you can just stack them up. You can have like 10 of them ready to go. And you can just stack them up. You can have like 10 of them ready to go. And you can just stack them up. You can have like 10 of them ready to go. And you can just stack them up. You can have like 10 of them ready to go. And you can just stack them up. You can have like 10 of them ready to go. And you can just stack them up. You can have like 10 of them ready to go. You're just like, I'm ready to run Alva today. I'm gonna make this today. Friday is my Alva day. All right, Alva, you ready? It's Friday. We're gonna run them temples. We've made a lot of changes to the temple. Specific rooms can drop unique incursion items that can later be upgraded. Many of these items have been improved. Ooh. Previously dropped rare items. Now it also drops rare items with modifiers based around the themes of the rooms in your temple contains. Interesting. Has a higher chance to drop vials related to that room. Having higher tier rooms causes more rares to drop. Interesting. Specific rooms now add specific monster packs to the temple, and the temple modifiers have more density, challenge, and reward. Oh, cool. Just harder. We have performed modernization. I think they spelled that wrong. I don't know if... I think it's supposed to have a Z. Am I wrong on that? Did I spell that wrong? I think it's because they're from New Zealand. We'll give you guys a break. It's okay. We love you guys. The explosive rooms now contains a basic chest that can be opened with the flash powder kegs. Blah, blah, blah. Shrine now randomly empowers one connected room in tier 2. Table now allows you to sacrifice a unique item for another random unique of the same item class. A monsters killed bar has been updated slightly. Make you see if you have killed all the monsters. Oh, interesting. For people like the 100 no maps. I like to call that the Jacobing maps. Legion changes. Added 3 new incubators related to Blight, Delirium, and Metamorph. That's cool. Abyssal incubators can now drop Abyss Scarabs. Cartographers incubators can now drop Shaper and Elder influenced maps. That's what we wanted. As well as the map with Delirium orbs applied to them. Thank you. Decadent incubators can no longer drop Perandus League exclusive unique items and now drops Scarabs more often. Okay, that sounds good on paper, right? Enchanted incubators can now drop items with an enchantment from the lab. Okay. Fragment incubators can drop offerings of the god. Can no longer drop pale court key fragments. Oof, that sucks. Foreboding incubators can now drop harbinger scarabs. Ancient orbs can now only be dropped from foreboding incubators of level 68 or higher. And the drop pool for mysterious incubator has been updated to include all of the new rewards. Cool. Added an accelerating catalyst, which adds quality that enhances speed modifiers on a ring. Added a noxious catalyst, which adds quality that enhances physical. Wait, hold on. Speed modifier. That's speed. That sucks. Enhances physical and chaos damage modifiers on a ring, amulet, or belt. Physical and chaos damage. That's pretty big. You have chaos damage or physical. That's a pretty nice catalyst. Increases crit modifiers on a ring. What? That's huge. That's nasty. Metamorphs now do 10% more damage and have 80% more health. Thank God. They were so easy. Sources have had their coin counts normalized. Kadira have been normalized or modernized, and their costs have been adjusted accordingly. Fractured items no longer have a visual effect applied to them. Talismans no longer drop using a well-rolled modifier system. Lame. They weren't even that good, Chris Wilson. I know you think talismans were good. They weren't that good. We weren't using them, I promise you. I never used a talisman in my life. I saw one and I vendored it every single time. I've never seen a good one. Consuming and offering the god now opens a portal to a random trial of ascendancy. What? That's a big. Trials open this way will not an award trial. Wow, that's big. Interacting with the divine font will now display a window for available enchantments. What? You have the option to pick one of 3 helmet enchants? Is this real life? 3 helmet enchants in 2021? Oh my god. That's fucking huge. Big brain. So I'm wondering, can you put your gloves in there and see like what enchant you get in your gloves, and then put your helm in there and then see what you get in your helm, or do you have to pick one or like the other? We'll have to see. The daily leader has been retired. The labyrinth unique jewels that were previously obtainable by completing the labyrinth, the fastest, can now be obtained as a rare reward from Azaro's treasure chest in the eternal and enriched eternal labyrinth. There's a fucking god. Okay, character balance. The low threshold for life, mana, and energy shield is now 50% or below. Previously, 35%. That's a big buff for us. That's nice. The cost of these reservation system for skills have been extensively reworked to add new options. Previously, all skills had either a mana cost or a mana reservation. Blah 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 blah. Now skills have costs of mana, life, or energy shield, and or less common resources such as rage. Most modifiers that affected mana cost now just affect costs, and this will apply to all cost values. Modifiers which still specifically refer to mana cost will only modify the amount of mana a skill costs, not the other values. Similarly, there are now some modifiers specifically modify only life costs, while skills requiring souls use is not a cost, and thus modifiers to cost will not apply to them. This has only technically been the case. Because that distinction did not previously matter, a couple of modifiers refer to this cost. Okay, that's just blood magic, support, replace mana costs, and reservations. These changes will be reflected in new skill pop-ups. That's fine. Percentage reservations are now stored with more precision eternally, allowing them to have up to 2 decimal places in their percentage value. However, the total amount of resources reserved must still be a whole number. This prevents some cases where small reductions in reservations values would have no effect due to rounding. As an example, if a skill reserves 50% mana, a modifier granting a 1% reduction will change to 49.5%, where previously it would be 50% due to the change. However, it is still not possible to reserve less than 1 of something. For a player with 100 mana, that 49.5 reservation will still reserve 50 of it, where a player with 1,495 would be reserved. Okay, so it's just for like players with high-end mana. Reserving mana or life no longer involves spending anything, so you don't need any current mana. Turn on auras. Oh, that's so big. I would accidentally turn off an aura sometimes, and I'd be like, I have to wait for my mana to refresh. Oh, I have to go put a freaking potion flask on to get myself to full. Oh, thank goodness. You just need enough of your mana orb to be unreserved that the aura's reservation will fit. However, while previously reservations were mutually exclusive with the cost, there is no longer the case, and that's possible for a skill to have both reservation and a cost, in which case the cost will still require spending. Most notable case is mind skills. It also means that mechanics added the cost of skills, such as Voidbringer unique gloves will affect skills mana reservation. Support gems that add a mana reservation to skills such as Blasphemy no longer inherently remove the cost as part of the process. Okay. The stats at which limit the total rate of recovery per second from leech have been changed. Previously, these limited the recovery based on what kind of leech it came from. Now they kind of limit the leech based on what kind of recovery it is. This has no effect except in cases where one kind of leech applies to a different kind of recovery. For example, the Keystone Immortal Ambition makes Life Leech cause energy shield recovery instead of life recovery. Previously, this was limited by maximum total recovery per second from Life Leech. That recovery will now be limited by maximum total energy shield recovery from Leech. Okay, they just changed it a little bit. Modifiers that allow your hexes to affect hexproof Enemies will no longer allow your hexes to affect yourself while you have hexproof. This is just a nerf to Headhunter again. The Corrupted Blood debuff has been updated. It now has a maximum stack size of 10 and is consistently treated as being completely separate from bleeding. What? Various bleeding specific modifiers that may have previously applied to Corrupting Blood will no longer apply. Modifiers that affect bleeding and corrupted blood, such as Staunching modifier on flasks, had the descriptions updated to reflect this change. Monsters that apply corrupted blood have been balanced around these changes accordingly. Corrupting blood applied by monsters now have different values, and these values are calculated based on the monster's level rather than its main hand damage. So, some effects which raise monster attack damage no longer scale corrupted blood in intuitive ways. Call of Steel no longer has a cooldown, previously 0.2. Character size is now capped at 100%. No, they nerfed the jewel. They have to cap our character size because they just gave us the jewel. That's Anger now grants 16 to 23 fire damage, previously 15 to 21 at level 1. A little bit of a buff. 109 to 155. Previously 99 to... Ooh, that's a pretty big buff at level 20. Makes fire damage applied to attacks and spells by the same amount. That's a buff. Divergent quality now causes the buff to grant 0.25 more spell damage per 1% quality. That's pretty good. For Berserk Divergent quality, I don't know what it was before. Blade Blast now deals 11 to 17 at level 1. It was previously 13 to 20, and 210 to 315. It previously was 279 to 418. That's a nerf. But I think you only use that skill at like level 1 or 2. So I don't think it matters too much. Added a damage effectiveness of 50%. It previously was 60%. That looks like a buff. Blade Vortex now has a base duration of 4 seconds, previously 5 seconds. Now has a radius of +2 at gem level 20, previously +4. That's a huge nerf. Wow. Now has a damage effectiveness of 20%, previously 25, and now deals 89 to 120, previously 101 to 151 fist damage. Damn, it got nerfed. Blade Storm now deals 70 to 108% more damage with bleeding while in blood stance. Nice. I think I needed that. Flesh and Stone got nerfed. 10% more mana reservation. So it's 35%. It was previously 25%. That's going to mess with a lot of builds. Frost Bomb. Cold Explosion now applies -15% to cold resistance. Previously -25. Dang, that's a nerf. Dang. General's Cry. Mirage Warriors now channel for duration of 0.6. Previously 1. I think that's a buff. Cursed enemies now take 40 to 78% more damage while in low life. Punishment. Previously 50 to 88. Got nerfed a little bit. Seismic Cry. Exerted attacks now deal 20% more damage per attack exerted by Warcry. Previously was 30%. They got nerfed a little bit. Spellslinger no longer supports skills granted by items. No longer activates if there are no valid linked skills. Oh, cool. Summon Carrion Golem now has a 6-second cooldown. Previously 4, so it got nerfed by 2. The skill now also travels a shorter distance and has a less area of effect. Summon Carrion Golem deals 11% less damage at all levels. Wow, little nerf. Toxic Rain. The spread range of spore pods is now affected by area of effect modifiers. That means having higher area of effect causing the spore pods to spread out more. The base spread range of these spore pods have been also slightly lowered. Each spore pod applies 5% less movement speed, previously 10, to a maximum of 30. Ooh, that's slightly slow nerfed. Man, you should apply a 60% nerf? That's huge. No longer grants increased fortified duration. Oh, this is Vigilant Strike. Now grants fortify on melee hit at gem level 1. That seems pretty good. Quality no longer increases fortified duration. Now grants fortify for 0.2 seconds on melee hit. Or well, 0 to 2 seconds. Vitality now causes you and nearby allies to regenerate 10 life per second at gem level 1. Previously 15, little nerf, and 193 at level 20, previously 247. That's a pretty big nerf, like a 50 life regen nerf. Wave of Conviction now has added damage effectiveness of 240, was 220. Exposure now applies minus 15% to elemental resistance, matching highest damage taken, previously minus 25. Now deals 35 to 52 physical damage at gem level 1, previously 32 to 48, and 1057 to 1585, previously 972 to 1459. Dang, that got nerfed hard. Wave of Conviction is going to be dead now. Veil Skill Balance. Veil skill gems can now be obtained with set methods such as Veil Side Areas, Divination Cards, and Lapidary Lens in the Temple of Adsal. Specific skills. Vaal Arc no longer causes modifiers to buff duration to also apply to this skill's soul gain prevention. Cast time of 0.7, previously 0.8. Now has a soul gain prevention duration of 2 seconds. Previously 6. Wait, what? This is only 2 seconds. Previously was 6. It's like nothing. Wow. Vaal Blade Vortex now deals 11 to 17. Previously was 14 to 20. So that got nerfed by 3 on both ends. 276 to 413, level 20. Previously 331 to 496. Dang, that got nerfed hard. Now it's more damage effectiveness of 60%. Previously 75. Hits enemies every 0.2 seconds. Previously 0.13. Wow. That's a pretty, I mean, that's like not too much seconds. 0.7. But now has a base duration of 5 seconds. Previously 3. Oh, that's a buff. Now stores up to 2 uses. Whoa, that's kind of cool. Low gain prevention of 6. Previously 5. Vaal Blight got nerfed by 1 second. They didn't change anything else on there. Vaal Burning Arrow expends 15 souls per use, previously 20. Source 4 uses. What the hell? Previously 3. Cold Snap looks like it got nerfed 46 to 69. Wait. It got buffed. Previously 35 to 53. And 1571 to 2356. Dang, that got a big fat buff. Like a big, like the fattiest fat buff you could ever think of. Now deals 34.3 base cold damage per second level 1 and 1500 base damage at level 20. I got like a 40 DPS buff, like a 5 DPS buff. Veil Cyclone now deals 80% of the base attack damage, previously 50%, and 99%, previously 60. That's a huge buff right here. 300% of the base attack speed. Okay, that's a huge nerf. They had to. I was like, what the heck? Now expends 25 souls per use, previously 35. Now has a soul gain prevention of 5 seconds, previously 7. Veil Earthquake deals 70%, previously 60%, and 85%, previously 71. So that got buffed. Ongoing effect now ends after 9 shocks. 9 aftershocks. Oh wow. 9 seconds. Veil Earthquake got buffed a little bit. It's a soul gain prevention. So Veil Fireball just got 1 second kicked off the soul gain prevention. Veil Fire Blast or Flame Blast, sorry, now deals 120% more spell damage for each stage. 10% more. 100% more damage with elements for each stage, previously 90. Has a radius of 45, previously 35. That's 10 buff, that's pretty big. Now has a -2 radius for each stage, previously -1. That's pretty big. Then 3 seconds got knocked off. How many more do we have? A few more to go. Veil Ground Slam. This attack can now be exerted as though it was not a Vaal skill. What does that mean? Deals 250% of the base attack damage at level 1, previously 190%, and 400% at level 20, previously 300. Stores 4 uses and 1 second got knocked off. Vaal Ice Nova now deals 18 to 26. It was previously 11 to 17. And 518 to 762 previously. Dang, that got super buffed. That got like super buffed. Now has a cast time of 0.7. 1.1 got knocked off. Now added a damage effectiveness at a 120. Previously 70. Stores 2 uses. I wonder if people will start using Vaal Ice Nova. Vaal Lightning Strike now deals 105%, previously 80%, and 130%, previously 98. That got buffed. Now has a base duration of 6 seconds, previously 8. That got nerfed. Now stores 2 uses. That got buffed. 8 seconds, 10 seconds for the soul gain prevention. Got a little buff. Nasty buff, actually. 2 uses is kind of crazy. Vaal Lightning Trap now deals 26 to 79, previously 1854, and 686 to 2057, previously 466. Dang, that went up 200 at the start and 700 at the end. That's a lot. That's pretty fat. Damage effectiveness of 250%, previously 170. Wow, that's a lot. Now added a soul gain prevention duration of 4 seconds, previously 6. Vaal Rain of Arrows now fires 27 arrows, previously 17, and 33 arrows at level 20, previously 21. Now fires 4 additional sequences of arrows, previously 3. Ooh, Vaal Rain of Arrows might actually be a viable skill now. Vaal Reeve now deals 200% of base attack damage at gem level 1, previously 150%, and 250% at gem level 20, previously 180%. Damn, that got a huge buff. Now expends 25 souls per use and now stores up to 3 uses, previously 2. That's a buff. Vaal Righteous Fire, it deals 80 to 99%, previously 1/6. That's a huge nerf. That's a huge nerf. Wait. I didn't use the fire damage. That doesn't nerf me. That doesn't nerf me at all. That's cool. Now sacrifice 60% of your energy field. Oh my god. It was previously 30%? Oh my god. Now grants 10% more spell damage. Oh. We got nerfed. We got nerfed. 10 to 19%. Fuck, we got nerfed. Now grants 10 to 19% more spell damage. Previously 15 to 28%. We got nerfed. No, we got nerfed. Darn. 6 seconds. Previously 12. That's a huge nerf too. 10%. Vaal Power Siphon now grants 25%. Previously 10% per power charge. Wow. That's kind of crazy. Now grants 50% increased critical strike per power charge. Previously 20%. Ooh, that's huge. 3 uses, previously 2. That's pretty big. Vaal Spectral Throw now deals 125% base attack damage. Previously 91%. Then 170%. Previously 135. Nova fires 8 additional projectiles. That would be pretty good. 4 seconds instead of 6. Now deals 21 to 38. Previously 14 to 26. That's a buff. 510 to 947. Previously 370 to 687. Damn, that went up 200 and 300. Brutality support now supports any skill that deals damage. Previously required the skill to hit an enemy. Passive tree rebalance. Cool, so we are here now. A new Relentless and Veteran Soldier cluster has been added to the southeast of the Templar's starting location. Relentless causes you to regen 1% life if you stun an enemy. I don't care about that. Physical damage. And Veteran Soldier grants 10% phys damage over time multi. 20 to life and 20% increased damage. Okay, that might be really good because it has flat life. Flat Fizz. Damage over time multipliers, like, I don't care about that. A new Vanquisher cluster has been added to the southwest of the Templar's starting location. Causes you to crush enemies for 4 seconds when you hit them while they are on full life. Grants 40% increased Fizz damage. Wow, that's kind of cool. The Red Storm cluster has been removed and replaced with a new Vitality Extraction cluster. What is the Red Storm cluster? Causes you to recover 2% life on kill you spent recently. Okay, so that's for the new skills they came out with. Small nodes at the Scion starting location are no longer restricted to melee only. Born to Fight. The increased melee Fizz damage and increased melee attack speed modifiers are no longer restricted to melee only. Wow, they were melee only? Now it's just Fizz damage and attack speed. I like that. Chainbreaker no longer causes you to lose 5 rage when you hit an enemy, no more than once every 0.3 seconds. Now causes skills to cost plus 3 rage. Corrupted Soul now causes you to gain 15% of your maximum life as a maximum energy shield, previously 20%. I don't know what that is. Hardened Scars no longer grants Fortified during the effect any life flask. Now grants Fortify while recovering from a life flask. Ooh, that's a nerf. Versatile Stance grants 10% reduced reservation of stance skills. Oh my god, I'm gonna take a break. Give me a minute. Holy poop. Okay, Ascendancy Changes. Okay, blah blah blah. I don't care about all these. 20% more damage with bleeding, physical damage over time. Gain defiance for 10 seconds on losing a life. Okay, I don't really care about all these. Just all I really care about right now is Trickster, which they didn't do anything. Now removes corrupted blood when you use a flask. So they really did change that. Crazy. The Orb of Binding has been added to the core drop pool as obtainable from various sources throughout the game. That's cool. Sacrificial Garb body armor now drops the +1 level with all Vaal gem skills. Implicit modifier. Resistant items cannot gain this modifier. Enemies you kill explode, dealing X amount of their life, can no longer appear on Crusader Influence body armors or as a sympathist implicit. To replace this modifier that grant enemies kill have X chance, dealing 1/10 of their maximum health, has been added. Existing items will retain the original modifiers and cannot be updated. RIP. Quivers can no longer roll increased global crit chance, increased global crit multiplier, or global damage over time multiplier. Instead, they roll crit chance, crit multiplier, and damage over time with attacks. Ooh, that's a nerf to us hard. A hardcore nerf to SS Strain. Existing items cannot obtain the newer modifiers through Divine Orbs. Hunter Influence Quivers can no longer roll global Fizz, Fire, or Chaos damage over time. Now they roll physical, Fire, and Chaos damage over time with attack skill modifiers. Damn, that's a huge nerf to us too. Corruption modifiers on Quivers that grant skills chain +1 has been removed. In its place, an arrows chain +1 times the modifier has been added. That sucks. You can no longer cast X of physical damage compared to X damage. Physical damage over time modifier has been added as a prefix to wands and staves. Physical damage over time modifier can be rolled on Cobalt Jewels. Elder Influence weapon modifier now grants 60% chance for poisons. Inflicted with this weapon to deal 100% more damage. In its place, Elder Influence weapons can now roll a local poison damage over time modifier. Impliciter? Or multiplier modifier? Elder Influence weapon now grants 60% chance to bleeding. Deal 100% more damage has been removed. Okay, so they remove these two Elder mods. And Hunter Influence mod that grants increased damage with poison has been removed. The Warlord mod, increased damage with bleeding, has been removed. Modifier that grants physical damage over time has been added. Elder and Shaper Influence rings can no longer grant increase melee damage, projectile damage, or increase spell damage. Suffixes. Interesting. Sexton modifier, which grants players deal X amount increased damage for each poison on them. Players have X movement speed for each poison on them, and areas contain blank has been removed. Watchers that don't have Sexton modifiers applied to them can be imprinted once again. Imprinted, okay. You can no longer obtain areas that have 2% chance to contain an Atlas mission modifier on Titanium Watchstones. The 4% and 6% modifiers can still be obtained. The Forbidden and Sela modes. The Forbidden and Sela maps can no longer roll the twinned modifier. Oh wow, interesting. Essence Changes. Bunch of changes it looks like. Bunch of changes. Bunch of buffs it looks like. Damage over time multiplier to amulets. Interesting. Essence of Delirium. Change a bunch of essences. Adjusted the Abyss Jewels. Regen adjusted. Did a bunch of tweaks on these. Added a new dual notable Blood Artist. So this is just clusters. I think they did a bunch of nerfs. A bunch of changes. There's too many to go through the cluster jewels. Oil now grants 35% increased experience gain. 5% increased pack size, previously 15% nerfed. No longer causes 5 blade chests to be lucky. Causes them to spawn at 25% faster. Interesting, that's cool. No longer grants 15% increased experience gain, so they flip these. Now causes 4 blade chests to be lucky. 3 additional blade bosses. They tweaked all of these. No longer causes 30% of quantity of items found in the area. Now causes lanes of blight encounters to have 20% chance for an additional reward chest. Black now grants 6% for chested day. Black now grants 6% chance for blight chest to contain an additional reward. Previously was 10. And some other tweaks. Crafted Veiled Modifier balance. Added a physical damage over time modifier. They tweaked some numbers on these. They buffed them a little bit. Buffed these a little bit. Actually, they nerfed these. Fire damage over time. They nerfed these hard. Wow, this is a nerf. 5%. Not much. A little nerf. Ooh. Channeling skills. Did they touch channel? They didn't touch channeling. Many unique items have been added to the core drop pool. Okay. A lot of uniques. I don't really care about uniques. Molten Burst by Nahamu's Flame Axe now fires 3 additional projectiles. Whoa. Okay, that might be sick. This used to only fire 2. Now fires 3. Added a 5th variant to the Vessel of Victor. Now grants increased effect of shock during flask and causes shock to spread to other enemies. Huh. The damage of conversion variation of the Vessel of Victor now increases 50% of physical damage converted to lightning during the flask effect. Previously 20% physical converted to lightning. Okay. Incursion Changes. Okay, so these are Incursion unique changes. These are for the items. The base items. Dance the Offered, Story of the Vaal, Sacrificial Heart, Architect's Hand. Monster changes. So this is a big one right here. The final bosses of each act have had their drops reworked. They now drop both more and better items so that they can be profitably farmed if desired. That is huge. That is actually a Diablo 2 change. Kind of a Grim Dawn change a little bit too, but this just means that you can just farm the final act of the boss. And pretty much it means when you're leveling up, you're going to get really good items while you're killing bosses, or you have a chance to get really good items. That's really good for leveling for us. Base life of all monsters have been reduced by 30 to 50%. Blah, 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 blah. The allies cannot die or have been removed. What? Am I reading this right? Allies cannot die. Aura has been removed. A new Benevolent Guardian Nemesis modifier has been added, which causes the monster with this modifier to apply an immunity buff to nearby allies for a short duration. If the monster is slain, those allies lose the immunity buff. Other monsters that have this buff cannot be given the immunity buff. That is huge. That's a buff. That's a huge buff to my build. That was like the one thing that countered Essence Drain. What do you got for me now? I can kill everything. Give me a minute. I'll pop back. I'll wait for the buff to wear off. You're dead. Kaboom. Rare monsters dominated by Cyrus had their attack, cast, and movement speed lowered. Tazosh the Hungry Flame no longer uses the ultimate Molten Strike skill. Bullthorns has been visually updated and no longer has damage reflection. Cool. The Vaal Pyramid Arcade boss have had their health increased to bring them closer in line to other map bosses. Oh, nice. Yeah, those bosses are pretty easy. Zana League map mods available during 3.14. This is the moneymaker right here. All right, what is it? Fortune favors the Braze, 3. Essence, 2. Breach, 2. Bloodlines, 3. Ambush, 3. Harbinger, 4. Heist, 6. Harvest, 12. Those are weak. Oh, there's no Legion. There's no Delirium. Those are some weak Zana map bosses. These are like the weakest we've ever had. There's no Nemesis. Nothing. Let's see how it changes with the league itself. User changes. A single item can now be unstacked from a stack of your items with the cursor by pressing Shift plus left click. Copying an item, Control C now copies the item class. Now pressing Control C copies the advanced modifiers on an item. Control click on June veiled modifiers now brings up the unveiled item. And move the list of item filters to the top of the UI menu. Okay. Improve the SSF warning. You can now use exclamation as a prefix to a term such as unique or sword to a filter. Okay, cool. Filters. Okay, website changes. Filters for influence items can now be found under Suda stat filters on the trade website. For example, it has shaper influence. Okay. Quest reward. Just changed a bunch of quest rewards. I'm not really worried about this. PvP changes. I don't think they can ever balance PvP. I would hope someday they can. And then there's a lot of bug fixes they just came out with. Oh my goodness. That's a lot. I'm not going to go over all of those because that's too much to read. And we really hope you enjoy Ultimatum. I hope it's a good league, guys. I'm going to enjoy it too. I'm looking forward to it. Vaal skill gems can only be obtained from a set of skills such as Corrupting Gems. And the Lapidary Lens in the Temple. Efficacy support can now be purchased from Nessa and the Marauder by the Marauder after completing the cage route. This patch note was incorrect and has been removed. So that was it for the content update for 3.14 for Path of Exile Ultimatum. I'll see you for the next video.